Hi, my name is Lawrence Dea, and I'm doing my oral presentation on my portfolio project for Research 2 for Mr. Ritchie's class. Let me share my screen here. So like I said, I'm doing my oral presentation on the portfolio project I did. So topics I wanted to cover during this presentation is the reflection responses, which is what I've learned, the improvement of it, and the course and institutional outcomes. And I also want to talk about workplace capabilities, which is technology literacy and interpersonal skills. So what I've learned during this portfolio project, first of all, I did it over leadership in healthcare and how it leads to innovative change. And leadership is a really big passion of mine. I had the opportunity to be student body president during my undergrad. And during this project, I got to kind of research how it affects both the patient and the clinic. During this project, I read up on how the American Physical Therapy Association has programs for leaders in the field for both students and also professionals. And they get recognized and they have these education programs to better have these professionals and better clinics and patients. During this portfolio project, it talked about leaders versus managers. And the key difference was that leaders, they look towards the future and they reach goals with the team. And I think in this day and age, teamwork is such a big thing, and working and building those relationships with both coworkers and just people in general. I have this quote here that was from one of my sources, is that change makers are people who can see the patterns around them, identify the problems in any situation, figure out ways to solve the problem, organize fluid teams, lead collective action, and then continually adapt as situations change. I think this is so relevant in today's day and age. During this source that I was reading, it was about leadership development and social change. And it was talking about how diversity and inclusion is such a big point and relevance to any team and for any leader. I think in this day and age in 2020, with this Black Lives Matter movement and the social change that is happening all around us, I think it's so important that everyone is heard and validated, and making sure that everyone has a voice. I think being a leader is such a big part of just healthcare in general, because it advocates for both the patient and those around you to feel comfortable enough for them to actually speak up. So I like to say the change is inevitable. And like the quote says, we are continually adapting to situations. And in this point in 2020, we've pretty much adapted to everything with being virtual. So one of the questions was, what would you do differently for continual improvement on this or future portfolio projects? So definitely for me, better time management. There's always something happening and you can always find time just to do it. And I'm always a big procrastinator. I always have a habit of that, and that can always change. And also writing skills can improve. Audience and tone and proofreading were a big thing for me. I really like the positivity and the feedback that I got during my proofreading. And during doing this portfolio, I had to think about the audience and the tone of what I was writing with, which was a big game changer. So the course and institutional outcomes, I am going to change it up. So this is the syllabus, or the uh, rubric, I'm sorry. So I think I completed all of these course outcomes. I researched all of this research using the virtual library and using that technology to kind of translate that into this memo. And just learning the memo in general was such a big help, especially working in a physical therapy clinic at the moment. The institutional outcomes, information literacy and communication. I use that technology of just being online and even just recording this in general to help this out. And I think I've achieved all of this. So I wanted to go on about technology literacy. I think it's relevant in 2020. And I think that everything is constantly changing. So I think having that research and having technology literacy to look up different statistics or even looking up different research in the healthcare field to better yourself, I think is so important. And obviously, technology literacy is going to be so helpful during classwork to just know how to work around being virtual or researching things in the virtual library and so on and so on. Last thing I wanted to talk about was the one workplace capability skill that I think was most important. I thought that interpersonal skills were the most important. It kind of ties back to leadership. I think everyone works in a team regardless of where you are, whether in the workplace or at home or just everywhere in general. I think you're working with people. And building the interpersonal skills just kind of allows for more opportunity for other skills to come to you naturally, like communication and problem solving. Like I said, bringing that teamwork together to have different perspectives and reaching a different goal with new perspectives and just having that diversity and inclusion. That is all I have. If you have any questions, you can email me. Thank you for the great class and have a good rest of your semester.